Okay, Itami Coco. Good evening. It's 9:30, so I guess I'll go ahead live with this thing. Although Chelsea isn't here at the moment, she's, of course, as fate would have it, little Reed is having some kind of washroom meltdown at the very hour we were going to go live. So Chelsea's dealing with him, and I guess I will just set the stage a little bit. So it is what the is MoonDay, the 1st of March, 2021. In the lunar cycle, beat that Kisum, the eagle moon. And Chelsea and I have been thinking about doing some kind of, joint just talk videos for a while. Every night, she and I, well, pretty much every night, not always, but pretty much every night, she and I sit around and have maybe an hour or two of kind of debrief because we're apart all day, and we get together and we talk about whatever happened during the day and whatever's going on. And, you know, fortunately, there's not too much drama involved in the debrief, but sometimes there is. Hey. Um, so it's kind of our nightly ritual, and we found like a really healthy thing for us. And so in terms of kind of considering like what we might do together in joint videos here, one idea is just kind of to invite people in live to a little bit of our evening debrief. Um, this afternoon, we got the feeling that it might be important to start this soon because an incident occurred, and I don't know how much detail I'll go into regarding the incident, but basically we've had pressure on us over the last few months to stop posting photographs on our social media, on Facebook and Instagram, especially on my accounts.
Yeah.
Photographs of Chelsea in lingerie, boudoir photographs and such. They're too sexy, and we're getting in trouble. But so we've had pressure on us in a lot of different ways: social pressure and family pressure, and pressure at our places of employment a little bit to tone it down. Hey,
Yeah.
and so some of this pressure is coming from people and sources that we know to be kind of bullies, and it's really hard to justify bending to bullies. So we thought rather than necessarily as a first step, maybe we'll start going live once a week, and we can talk about issues like this, and people that got questions can ask us. So you're invited into our debrief today, and so the big event of the day, I guess. I don't know. There's probably a few big events of the day,
Yeah.
but the kind of the pressure from on the social media angle was something that I thought would be a good thing to kind of address in some respect tonight. Like, why are we posting photographs of Chelsea lingerie on an almost nightly basis
Oh, no, right?
on my social media? And we've been doing this, for months. What's that about, right? What is being toned down? Just got here. Okay. Well, hey, just hang in there, man. I think you'll kind of catch the gist of the conversation. Don't stop being you, Aaron Roth. Of course, Aaron.
Yeah.
Aaron's one of our buddies. And you've probably, those who followed the channel, Might have seen me on some of Aaron's podcasts in the past. But okay, so anyway, we're getting some pressure, and so we want to do like a part of the pressure that we're getting is kind of political, right? Like some of it's coming from concerned family members and stuff. What are you guys up to? You know, my brother hasn't really talked to me for a few months because he was like, why you posting like soft porn on your Instagram? Knock it off. And I basically told him, buzz off and don't worry about it. And so we haven't talked, and so we've got some pressure from our families about that. Like Chelsea's parents are involved in ceremony and stuff, so they get pressure from their society members about it, that kind of thing. And then we've both been we've received letters of concern at one point or another.
Yes.
From our employers, really kind of asking us, okay, is this representative? Like you're a professional, and you're in a professional position in a particular community, and is this appropriate representation of a professional who's working for this organization in this community and such, eh? So all hard questions and stuff, but at the same time, we have our rationale. Yeah, if people, like Cindy says, if people don't like it, they don't need to see it. And it's we've been doing this for probably almost a year on our social media, and then maybe the last 6-8 months it's bumped up because we got into lingerie. Yeah, but we come from kind of a real traditional social network, right? The both of us. I get heat for being a white guy in a Blackfoot world, but the reality is my actual social network is pretty much all Blackfoot, and it's just the way it is. So we both come from that network of social relations, and it's outside of the norm within that network to do what we're doing, okay? And like, I don't know, I guess one of the things I think I want to get Chelsea talking about why we're doing it, okay? Because I know, it started off like real, like innocent, where like when we were early on together, I think Chelsea had just this one little top that we took a picture of her in, and then was a while before we really got into that stuff.
Yeah.
And it was I had bought a piece of lingerie, I think.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, I bought a piece of lingerie, and then we were like, oh, this is kind of fun. And then we bought some more and some more. Now we're kind of converting our bedroom into kind of a walk-in lingerie closet. As Chelsea's collection grows.
Yeah.
We expect some more to arrive in the mail this week.
Yeah, there's some more coming.
But yeah, and we've been sharing photographs, and there's a lot of different things I think involved in like in that, hey?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of different things. I don't know, maybe I should stop talking, let you talk a little bit. because I got stuff to say, but you haven't said too much. Ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea.
Well, for me, it was like once we started getting more into it, more um, like for me, it's a way to express, and I quite enjoy expressing myself like that now because before it was, I felt kind of the insecurity of my body, and but once I put on the piece of lingerie and I seen how I looked and how it made me feel, it was I liked it a lot. And then it changed. Like I started my confidence really boosted from it. And getting the reactions we were getting from like the social media when we're posting. At first everybody was like, yeah, there you look so good. And
Yeah,
it
my
was
aunties
really
were all into it.
it was all
Yeah,
positive and it was all
yeah,
like, okay, well, this is fun and I really like doing this and but then we were too consistent, I find, what we were doing and people started like, okay, is something going on or are you okay? And I'm like, I'm fine. Like I'm so like I feel really good and I'm so happy. Like we've of course we've been in prior relationships and stuff and those are we both had our things with those but now being with Ryan it gives me a chance to really express and have wicked trust in what we're doing and it's a lot of freedom for me and like even like cutting my hair simple as cutting my hair was such a big deal in my community.
oh, it's
First it
huge.
was like I had long hair it was like just above like my waist kind of thing cut it then I cut it again and then it got shorter then I bleached it and everyone's like oh, what are you doing what's wrong and I'm like nothing's wrong like this is like I like this is me.
Yeah,
And like there's nothing wrong trying to express the way I'm expressing. I don't feel like it's wrong, but I get a lot of heat just because, like Ryan said before, we come from a traditional background, and my parents, what they're involved in, they get a lot of like, oh, what's going on? She shouldn't be doing that. You guys are society members. Basically saying I should have more respect, but I do. I have a lot of respect for what they do but I don't it's not like I'm showing up at ceremonies in lingerie or anything. Like
yeah,
it's we're home. It's in
yeah.
our this is what we do to feel connected to each other.
Besides which, like that whole that whole network
Yeah,
in ceremony kind of pushed us out.
it did.
Like we both like when our previous relationships we had
Hmm.
bundles
Yeah.
and transfers, and our respective spouses just kind of said, "Oh no, we're taking when we split, we're taking those bundles, and you guys, got no business with them," which
Yeah.
isn't tradition at all, but that's what they decide to do. So that whole group kind of pushed us out. I don't understand why they think they need to have anything to say to us.
Hmm.
You know, there's that matter.
Yeah.
Just to put that out there. Um, you know, you guys have your thing and we're not interfering, right?
True.
So, part of the pressure on us is definitely that that people are bothered that Chelsea and I are even together as a couple. You
Yeah.
know, I'm older than her. We, like I said, our network was close to begin with,
Yes.
so close that like it was pretty close. Like
Yeah.
Mahoney considered, Chelsea's husband, her brother, even though he wasn't a blood brother, it was very close, eh? And so, you know, people were upset that we got together at all. And then, and then there's a lot of racism here where we live.
Hmm.
And the racism goes both ways. And so, a lot of people, when they look at us, they see, oh, here's this white guy with a young native lady, and he's exploiting her sexually. That's what we've been accused of.
Yeah.
And the latest accusation, the one that came today, was along those lines of, um, you know, why is it okay for in the context of the historical, uh, context where missing and murdered Indigenous women's movement um, took so long to build recognition of, why is this white guy think it's okay to sexualize his native partner? That's what is it okay to do that kind of soft porn? You know, for me, yeah, that was the question that was thrown out there, and it's like that's been put to us before.
Yeah.
Hey, this is
Yeah.
nothing new, but it's frustrating because I don't like to be seen as a race. I don't. I think I look at us as matapi, as human, and human is something. It's in contrast to other animal species and stuff. But even in the Blackfoot language, all those species are part of matapi, right? So I don't get the race thing. Well, I get it. Like I'm very aware of the historical context, but I've already grown through all of that stuff. I've already wrestled with all of that stuff in my lifetime, in my mind. I worked it all through. Hey, I was in the military to try to respond to that. I was in repatriations for almost a decade in response to that. I was in Indigenous post-secondary education in response to that, and I'm still doing work in response to that context. So I'm not unaware of it at all. But the idea that, see, the way that we look at it is the flip, or at least the way I look at it, and I'm sure Chelsea will agree, is it's not okay just because of this context. And by the way, like in terms of missing and murdered Indigenous women, the cases that I've actually studied, and I was interested in this, like really interested for a little bit. I was actually studying to get a private investigator's license just so that I could actually get hands-on involved in trying to help some of this. But that's that's the reality. But a lot of the cases that I studied, when it ultimately came down to it, it looked like it's really close family and friends that did what happened, and then it just wasn't investigated properly because of the racism. But in terms of who's doing the acts, it's not like necessarily crazy white lunatics, although there's some of those.
Yeah.
There's some of those, right? I'm not denying it. But that's not all there is, and I'm not one of them. So that's not what we're doing at all. Like Chelsea explained what it's been like for her to be able to like have some liberation, with a partner that allows herself to express herself sexually. And for somebody to take something like that, that missing and murdered Indigenous women's thing, and some racism that's in their mind, and turn that on us and stifle Chelsea's actual expression. Like, this is a Native woman trying to express herself, and these Karens are coming in, trying to stifle her. So we've been resisting that, but it's frustrating when it starts affecting us in significant ways. Hey,
Mhm.
what do we got here? Hey Shane, you don't need to show your relationship publicly. Well, that's why not?
It's choice.
And it's our like social media pages. Nobody needs to be on there if they're offended by it. A lot of people in this world choose to display their relationships publicly.
Yeah, a lot of them have podcasts and do things, couple things on what we're doing.
Yeah,
So what's the deal?
yeah. Like, why do you care?
And like that's what really bugged me was when we started getting the, like he said, the murdered and missing indigenous women's thing flipped on us. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. It's pretty
It's like
harsh. Yeah,
that's exactly what the opposite. Like I get it. I understand the trauma like with the sexual exploitation, and all that. I'm not daw to it either. Like there is the trauma there and it's goes back. I know. But for me, what I'm doing, I I find that it's a way to kind of break it for me and my family, because I have kids, of course, and I have boys and girls. Like I have a daughter and I have sons, and I want them not to be afraid to express themselves any which way, sexually or anything, and then they're gonna know like it's okay to do that because for me personally, like this was a wicked like it really opened me up a lot, not just like sexually. I learned that sexuality is okay. I'm learning that it took me so long to be like, oh, this is normal, this is fine, there's whole communities that do this, and it's it's not a bad thing, especially when it's all consensual.
right.
That's the biggest thing.
Aaron messaged something about he loves us, and then he retracted his message. I'm sure he'll put something else up there. Keep being ourselves or
Yeah.
something. I've always posted my relationship publicly.
Hmm.
Like that's this whole channel has been, and all of my like Facebook, social media stuff has all been journal stuff for me, and it's included my private life. And Chelsea and Maya's life is just different than Mahoney and Maya's life was.
Hmm.
So you guys are seeing the change, but that's how things go. Okay, here he goes. Aaron says, "Love you guys. You're absolutely on point. Anyone who knows you knows this is the opposite of exploitation. It's true liberation." Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that's what we're shooting for here. Liberation. Hey, in
Yes.
a lot of different ways. Like our relationship that we're building, Chelsea and I, is different. Hey,
Yes.
we'll I'm sure at some point get into some of that stuff,
Yeah.
but it's different. Hey,
Yeah.
but we've both come from having long-term relationships, and so rather than just jump right into a similar kind of um, agreement, you know, we've looked at our pasts and what
Yeah.
went wrong and stuff. Look at other people,
It's not
and
working.
we're trying to carve different path that's going to work for us. That's, we're not going to end up sabotaging our marriage with financial problems or jealousies or anything. So part of that is doing our nightly debriefs here, in which we lay everything out on the table.
We do.
Okay. There's nothing hidden. We got no secrets from each other,
Even though sometimes, like, yeah, it's hard to hear what he has to hear. Like, what we both have to say sometimes. It's but at least we know. And then, like, we talk about it. We clear it if we need to clear it. And that's one thing I really, really value in our relationship, is that we make it a point to do that. And just doing that, even though, like, sometimes it's hard to hear, I really appreciate it.
We have a bunch of messages here. I should read them real quick. Cass invited us to something. We'll look at that later. So Big Perm says, good evening. Good evening. And Cindy says, you can have a relationship without having a piece of paper. For sure.
For sure.
Big Perm says, are you getting married soon? Chances are pretty good. I go meet with a judge and Mahoney's lawyers on Friday, but the divorce portion itself has already been agreed upon, and so we'll be moving on. I have to be able to get my ID in order as a first step. I still haven't recovered from
Costa
Rica and the identity theft stuff, and
talk about adventure there.
But after Friday, I have hopes to get some of my belongings back, including my legal papers that I need for my identification and all of that. So yeah, once identity is in order and we're able to, be real people. She said, hurry up. Better check. Our friend is messaging us, and she's getting anxious. Big Perm says, congrats. You two make a good couple.
Yeah.
Try the page I invite you to so we can win the 35 grand.
Oh, what?
Oh, I don't know.
That's like,
I don't know. Should we? Well, you talk and I'll message her. Go.
Talk about marriage, huh?
Here's a living example. No, this is our combined friend here.
Yeah. And like, just like go back to like talking about just our everyday debriefing and like how open we are with each other. And like for me, that's like something that I really, really, really appreciate, because like my previous relationships weren't so open as we are. And we talk about everything and anything that's on our mind, really, because I need it and he needs it. And
it's good to clear it. If you let it go too many days, anything,
it can build into something,
then it's too like scary to deal with.
And the thing is, like, in my profession, I work 12 hours. So like, and that's not including the drive time I do. So like he said, like, we don't see each other all day unless like I'm on my days off, and then it's a different story. And then he's off doing what he has to do during those times. So like we don't really see each other till like evening time after the kids are put to bed, and then we have our time to talk, and then we catch up on each other's day. Of course, we shoot each other messages, throughout the day, but it's different when we get that one-on-one contact with each other. And then, of course, I like to come like after everything's done. I want to dress up, but I want to feel good, and I
So
like.
here's a secret to life, guys. Girls like to play dress up.
We do.
And
Wow.
and if you can just feed that, and good things happen from it. I'm telling you.
And I do. Like I love it. I love dressing up. I love to show off and feel confident in it too. And I love that he shows me off. It's a wicked boost for me. In it in that connection, it's just even more when we do it. We were joking the other time. You were like, you're a little of an exhibitionist now, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, you could say that.
A little.
A lot.
But this, this Chelsea was in a box before.
Yeah.
And there's probably a lot of women that are pretty stifled.
It's
one
just
of
the
the
pressures.
one of the things that we're finding as she puts photographs up, there's other women who are seeing it and who are taking risks to try doing things themselves. Like we see a little bit of a ripple sometimes, from what she's doing, and sometimes we will watch them like literally get shut right down.
Yeah. Like there's been a few incidents I've seen like on my social media. Some people posted, then they retract right away. They're like, oh, I don't know, like if their partner got upset or whatever, or if their family wasn't ready to see that. But in the end, it's like, we're all somebody's in the end, but you're a person too. You're a human being. You are free to express how you want to express yourself. And I find when the way I'm doing it now, people if they don't like it, then that's okay for me too, because I don't need you in my life if you're gonna put that towards me. And it goes across all now, really, for me, because I really don't need it. And I'm okay, saying that now. Whereas before I would be like, oh, no, like I need you in my life. No, I don't.
Yeah.
'Cause
what's in the cups? Secret sauce. How dare you? Nothing too bad.
No, nothing bad.
Okay, so I don't know, like people are asking us questions if they have them, but are we played out on this issue? Like, I don't know what else to say. It's frustrating that it keeps coming up as like people have such big problems with it. Wish they just leave our social media in that case.
Yeah.
But anyway, in other news, I broke 2 of my toes. Remember that kinky jujitsu video that we posted last week?
Yeah.
In the filming of that, on that final filming bit, I broke 2 of my toes.
Yeah, you did.
So all week I've been hobbling around with a couple of my toes taped together, splinted together, and I'm always injured.
Yeah.
It was audible. It was wicked. Probably I was dumb because I just put together that little video and then I tossed out all of the raw footage because I don't have space to put all the raw footage forever, but
Yeah.
we trained for an hour or whatever. Might use 2 minutes of that. And somewhere in there you can hear
You
my
heard it.
my toe like
Yeah.
like it rolled in a really bad way. Crash. So that's why you haven't seen
And
anything else quickly. Although it's getting to the point, even just a week in, like the swelling's starting to come down, and I'm almost ready, I think, to play on the mats a little bit more. It was funny when it happened because I didn't feel
No,
it. Hey, like
no.
I heard the pop and everything, but I didn't think I was broken. Hey. Edit out the tears.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping I just popped the knuckle, but it was like 5 minutes later, my foot was swelling up and bad things were happening.
Yeah.
My opinion is that people need to mind their own business. You shouldn't feel the need to explain yourselves to uptight people. Neither of you are hurting anyone. Well, part of why we are
Yeah.
explaining ourselves is because I plan to like post this video on my social, on my other like Facebook and stuff, as kind of a concession, rather than like retracting. Like we're
Yeah.
not going to put pictures up anymore. We'll do some explanation.
Yeah.
And then if people got problems with us, we're probably good. My plan right now is because we were thinking about doing this anyway.
Yeah.
Because we have really good debriefs together. We like talk about big topics and
We
stuff.
do. We do.
And so we've been thinking about doing like a weekly debrief live session anyway. And so this, that'll be an opportunity for people that have issues. I mean, I'm not inviting any bullies. Bullies can fuck off. But people that have, real concerns that they want to discuss in a respectful way.
We're open to that.
We're open. Yeah.
Especially like you said, like we're open for discussion, really.
Yeah.
And like you said, we talk about big topics. We talk about a lot of different things in our nightly debriefs, and some nights are big nights, other nights are just catching up with each other.
Yeah.
And yeah.
We'll save good stuff for Monday nights if we're going to have Monday night debriefs on live video.
Yeah, of course.
All right. So I don't know. You got anything else you want to talk about?
No, I was getting used to the camera thing.
Yeah, it's kind of
just like new for me.
there were other events today, but we'll let it go at that. That was something we needed to handle, and it's kind of a nice little capsule on that topic alone, so that I can post it to when there's issues that arise.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess we're gonna sign off for the night and relax into our normal mode of debrief. Just do it privately. You don't need to show it. Well, why do you like? What is it? Are you worried about that? I'm like. Do you know like social media is about showing yourself doing stuff? It's about like sharing your life and the things that you're doing. Yeah, you don't have to. If you don't like what somebody's showing, what they do in their life, then you don't follow them on social media. You know, that's the way to do it. Rather than try to tell them not to do something, don't tell us to stop. We'll do what the fuck we want, to be honest. But certainly not without, like, just keep it to ourselves. Why? What's the rationale?
Yeah.
Hey, what are we showing that's terrible that we should keep to ourselves? Love? Is it bad to show love?
Apparently.
It's bad to show sexuality? Is that what we should be keeping to ourselves? Things like love and sexuality? It sounds like some kind of ethics that are not my ethics. I don't share those. I don't share that opinion. The fact that it could influence some sick person to act on some innocent. I'm not responsible for every sick person out there, dude.
No. That's a big
You can't lay
no.
that on me.
No.
You can take that responsibility on yourself for however you post your stuff, but
No.
but I don't got time to consider what every single person um, thinks about the things that I do. I do, a lot of stuff openly on social media. I've been doing that for a long time. I hope that I'm influencing people in good ways most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that there's some sick people out there. Well, in fact, I know of some instances of, where people who have been kind of, almost stalkery, um, attached to me and having issues in their lives and stuff. I think I've helped them. But yeah, in terms of this stuff in particular, yeah, if somebody does something, bad to someone, uh, based on seeing a photograph of a woman in lingerie, that person is the problem, not me. Cindy says you have a good night. I'm all worked up now, Cindy. Kidding. But yeah, like, we can't take responsibility for that. We can't take responsibility for the odd sickos and stuff like that. Like, this isn't like that. There's a where do you draw the line? Because eventually you end up where you're telling the women to cover their faces because people will see them and get turned on. Some man, my nephew will see you, like, it's bullshit. I don't want to have the Taliban here, right? We don't need that. Women all over the world have been breaking out of
Yep.
that kind of suppression of their sexual expression, and it's you know Chelsea's an example of that in a First Nations community, which is also a traditional community, and some of the pressures that we're getting, good deal of them are connected to that, but whether or not they're traditional is debatable. I think a lot of the pressure comes from the influence of Catholic ethics into the community, but that is what it is. But yeah, no, I'm not going to take responsibility for all the sick people or any one sick person, doing something that's gross. Guess that's it.
I know, it's just a little like,
It's a weird place to end.
yeah. It's like,
Anybody have any questions that might lead us in a nice direction to conclude? We're open to anything. It can take us way off this topic.
yeah.
It's not looking like
No.
nothing is coming through. all right. So this was a trial,
Yeah, it was.
and we'll probably see if teach me crocus in Blackfoot. Oh, okay, Gippyapi. Gippyapi is crocus, and that's what you're talking about is the prairie crocus, which is a flower that grows out here, one of the early ones to bloom. I'll type it out here in the um, and what it refers to is like an eye that just barely opens and then closes, hey, and disappears, hey. Kipiapi, like a really quick blink of an eye, hey. How's your school going? The
Mm.
studio is wrapping things up. We got this week and next week, and that's it for this crew. And then we're gonna have a little break for a couple of weeks and get a brand new crew. We're going to be operating in the studio through April, but then moving into a new facility from May. And we're going to be combining with the organization that um, that I've been allied with in this program the whole time. So we're going to share facilities with them, but we're part of the organization. So we're going to be in the same building. It's going to be different
Mhm.
coming up. It's gonna be a fun summer doing changing things around, and I like our new facility, so you get to see that up and coming. But yeah, we're wrapping things up, um, and then we'll have a little event maybe 2 weeks out from now to showcase the students. How long have you two been in BJJ from No Name?
Mm.
Okay, well,
Well.
um, we've been in and out, in and out. Like I was in jujitsu probably a year and a half or so, and I had various training partners. I had opened up a basically like a Gracie garage in my home, my rental home in Riverstone, and then when I moved into Heritage Heights, I moved my gym over there, and I had a handful of pretty good guys. Well, not good, but like guys that were like we could train hard together. Um, and then I had others coming to train, and Chelsea came to train
Yeah.
at one point. She
Yeah.
contacted me, but I'd
you know
offered
why.
before. Tell them the story. You go tell. But yeah, I've been training a little bit, but our skills are really super rusty because
Yeah.
because we took 2 years off,
We did.
you know, and we didn't even have our blue belts
Yep.
yet at the time that like we I got separated from my wife and things were very traumatic, and so we've taken a couple years off. So yeah, our BJJ sucks right now, but you're gonna see it grow back to something. I think in fast increments. People are so uptight about seeing women in lingerie, but are totally okay with racism and missing and murder Indigenous women. Nothing wrong with the naked human body. It's a work of art. Thank you, John Moon.
Mm-hmm.
We agree.
Big time.
Yeah. Back to BJJ. How come you approached me? You didn't tell the story. Well, you don't have to tell the whole true story.
No, I was like, that's pretty low. It's a very fun story.
a lot of people get into martial arts when something traumatic happens.
Yeah.
But at one point, there was a video I put up. Chelsea and I hiked Chief Mountain together,
And that's where I inquired about it. And I was wondering because I wanted to train and I was, a single parent, single mom and had my kids and I wanted self-defense and I wanted to learn how I could, if ever get put in a situation, I'll be able to help myself in that regard. And I knew about Ryan and the like learning about the jujitsu or just self defense too, because he was talking about he could teach me it, and I was interested. So when I was in the university here in Lethbridge, I inquired and I wanted to learn. So I messaged him and I told him like if he was still willing to teach, and he said yeah. So that's when it started, probably like in that October, and then I went every day to because I wanted to know the skill, and then of course you're with the person every day, you things happen.
Yeah.
But you know,
some of that is documented on video too.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, roll, exactly.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, no, for sure. Every time you're just getting more and more used to manipulating the human body, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we have fun with it, but it's also part of our because we were training and that was kind of how we got romantic too.
Yeah.
You know, that ends up being part of it for us. So we mix the two a bit. You should roll on live. Perhaps at some point.
Yeah.
You know, when I put together this compilation videos, they're I'm pulling things out of like 40-minute videos,
Mm-hmm.
hour-long videos and stuff. It's a couple of fun little minutes, and I don't think there's a lot of stagnant time
There is.
in well, at least in our jiu-jitsu, where we're just struggling against each other and not doing a lot of moving. You all too tired? Not even. You see plenty of Chelsea and Ryan jiu-jitsu, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny. We've got this winter. It's the first time it's become really apparent that we have a little community of supporters
Mm-hmm.
for those videos in particular. Then roll. You just want us to take that laptop in there right now. No, our next video we plan to feature armbar from the mount. So
yeah, that was a request.
we're gonna play with some armbar from the mount along with other things. But yeah, we have a little following of people who are into jiu-jitsu plus. Not tonight. This is a different series. This goes in our MoonDay night debrief playlist. Whereas you want the what did I call that last one?
Role play or no?
Yeah, you want the role play playlist. Role play like ROLL play. Show us some moves. Who usually wins?
Well,
you can't see that in the
yeah.
videos. But only when like we're if we're actually, instead of just training the technique.
Yeah.
But sometimes Chelsea gets the upper end. Sometimes I think I'm gonna turn her in some way, and next thing I know, she's got me twisted in some weird. She broke my toes last weekend. I got 2 broken toes.
Realize till the pop came.
I don't know if we got. We might have a live jiu-jitsu video at some point.
Yeah.
But tonight is Monday nights are going to be
debrief
for a little while. We're gonna play with this. So, any other questions before we head out for the evening? How do you take her back so fast. I like to scurry around like a spider.
I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I imagine myself in some kind of ambush predator insect mode.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna sign off. That was fun. Thanks
Yeah.
for leading us into some good cheer
Yeah.
at the end there.
It was nice.
Yeah. So we'll try this again live next week, and I'll make sure to put a notice up so that people know it's coming. This MoonDay Night Debrief is new. Is it every Monday now? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we're gonna try to do every Monday for a little while and experiment with this and see how it goes. You know, people need to hear Chelsea because they got all kinds of twisted ideas about me.
Yeah.
So, and we've been meaning to do this stuff for a while because we got stuff to unpack.
Yeah,
You know,
we do.
To get my journal up to speed. But we got to feel comfortable unpacking that. So we're going to start doing some live debriefs with you guys. Is it like one point you're on your knees and then you're on her back? I don't even, it's not like, it depends on what the positions are.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'm moving on my knees. Sometimes I'm moving on my toes. Sometimes I'm using some point on her as a pivot point to move her to skate around her body to get in the back. So 9:30 works good for us.
Yeah.
Because we have the kids in bed. They go to bed at 8:30, so by 9:30 we're pretty safe to be able to start our program, even though tonight we had a little washroom emergency at the very beginning. BJJ live tomorrow night. We're gonna think about the BJJ.
Yeah.
I don't know. Might be fun. We might get like people like, hey, try this or try that.
Yeah.
But people have asked us to do a lot of things live, and we're always like, I don't know. We're doing it the way that's fun for us, and then we share it as much as we think is going to be good for others while still fun for us. So Monday nights 9:30. Yeah. Monday nights 9:30 for the debrief. For the next, we'll do it for a month or so and see how it goes. We're gonna get some more BJJ out there, whether it's BJJ live at first. I don't know about that. We'll see. But we will definitely have some BJJ videos and nature videos too.
Yes.
Yeah. I still am Ryan. But you're getting the evolution, it's life. So, all right, guys, we are taking off.
Mm-hmm.
It's been pretty close to an hour, and we've unpackaged what we wanted to unpackage and had some fun. So nice. It's a good trial. Hey?
Yeah, it's nice.
All right, get 'em at the